Valentine's Day is coming up. So what we've got here is beginner laser project number 11. Show you how to make these coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop. This is beginner laser project number 11 in the series. And we're going to be making these little Valentine gnomes. And there's a couple different options. Actually, there's several different options of what you can do. So I'm going to take you on the computer first to show you how we're getting all this set up. I've created a toolpath here, one of the most common shapes you'll find at Dollar Tree. And it's kind of, I guess you'd kind of call it a shamrock, although it's got 5 sides to it. But this would give you a toolpath to be able to put some of your parts and pieces into. So you would need to open the library here of parts. And I need to load that library. It's just called Valentine's. I'll just kind of slip this over here. So we're going to do one with a base. So we'll see how many of these parts we can get in here. You can also drag it in if you wish. So we could probably put him over there. And we're going to need this layer for the base. Here again, you can drag this in if you wish. Him situated in there. And we're going to need feet with heels. And we'll do the hat with the heart. And we're going to need a beard. Now let's grab the nose. Definitely need a nose. Put that over here. And we need the brow. So the next thing here yet would be the beard. I think that we can get that up here if we move this a little bit. And we'll do this beard here. It'll fit up there just fine. So we've got the base, the back, the hat, the beard, the nose, shoes and the heels, and the brow. That's everything we need to make one gnome on a stand. Just set this up and cut it out. Okay, and for this project, I'm going to be using the xTool D1. Got it sitting here. And I do have a honeycomb bed, and I do have air assist. Do you need to have a honeycomb bed? No. Do you need to have air assist? No. It just makes it a little bit nicer project when you have the honeycomb board because you get no scorching on the back, and the air assist because you'll get no scorching on the top. So you're between the combination of the two, you'll have no scorching. However, since this is painted, if you don't have the air assist or the honeycomb board, that's fine. Just remember when you are cutting to have a protective metal plate underneath, and don't do it on the dining room table, or you are going to have a problem with the spouse or significant other. So something to keep in mind there. So what we're using here is 3mm plywood, and you can get shapes at Dollar Tree. And this is one of the shapes. This is a star. But you want to make sure it's 3mm thick. You also have some 2mm stuff you kind of got to watch. Because if you're doing the one with the base here, like this, you absolutely have to have the 3mm. If you're doing the one that would hang or you would apply it to something, you could get by with a 2mm fine. So, shape-wise, star is one. This here is the most common shape I see at all the Dollar Trees, and that's why I made a toolpath to show how to fit the shapes into just one of these. Now, before you put this on and cut it, you're going to need to prep it a little bit. One is you have to take string off if you don't want any strings attached, and you're going to have to take the label off the back. After that, you need to sand it, and I suggest sanding it to 220. If you are going to paint it, I wouldn't worry so much about where the sticker was, but if you decide you're going to stain this or maybe put a natural finish on it, make sure you sand that well where the sticker was, because there's always some adhesive that seems to adhere. I should also add that when you are at your local Dollar Tree or a craft store, hobby store, or lumber store, wherever you're getting your wood from, make sure it's flat and not warped or wonky. Wonky is a technical term. But you want it to be flat, because if it's not flat, you're going to have a problem getting it cut. You also have a problem putting the pieces together. I've got my piece set in place and my laser's focused. So here again I'm using the xTool D1. Make sure that you focus your laser according to what brand you have. And I have my piece set in place here. I'm working from absolute coordinates. So I'll give this a start. Total time on this is 14 minutes and 28 seconds. And I may have set my top graphic there to end up in that hole, which I did, so I'll be cutting that piece over out of something else. Okay, and while this is cutting, I'll point something else out. On my beard up here, I'm doing the engraved letters for this. So what we want to do is to make sure that the fill is done before the cut. So you definitely want to make sure that your layers and cuts are set up accordingly. You always want to do your fill before your cut. Okay, once you have all your pieces cut out, you'll need to paint them according to how you want it to look. So here is a couple different options. This one here was actually done with a color fill by putting tape over that section of the wood before it was engraved, and then that was color filled and then the tape removed. That's one option. Another option is, as I showed, you could do an actual cutout. Your background on your first layer could either be red or it could be white or whatever color you want it to be. For the shoes, I painted the soles of the shoes gray and then the heels black. This is what they call flesh color, what I did with the brow there. And you could obviously do the nose a different color. It's entirely up to you how you want it to look when you're done. And this one here, as I said, is for like a wall hanging, or you could apply it to something, or you could drill a little hole in the top here and you can hang it up, or you could put a little hanger on the back and hang it up. So you've got a lot of choices there. This is the one with the base. That's what we cut out. I'm going to show you how to assemble this. So after you have everything painted, because it's a lot easier to paint this before you assemble it, you got your base, you got your hat, you'll have the brow, you'll have the nose, and that only fits in there one way properly. There we go. The hat. When you're gluing this together, it's best to start with the brow, so you can align it right here on the edges, and then once that's set, then I would do the nose, and then I did the hat, got it centered where I wanted it. Then you would do the beard, and at the very base down here you should have 3 millimeters, because that's what's going to fit into that base there. And then your shoes and heels with glue on. This is kind of fun to do when nothing is actually glued yet. You do this without moving everything around. So it would look like that after it's assembled, and once everything is assembled and the glue's dry, it just sets into the base. This will just slip into this right here. Now you'll have a little heart left over there, and actually I have a few of them because I've made a few of these. If you wanted to, you could paint those and add them to the base like that. Entirely up to you. A lot of different options here, different things you can do. Again, you could do a cutout, contrasting color behind it. You could have a different contrasting color behind and still have the rest of it red. It all depends on how you want to paint it. I actually need to make more of these, but it's so cold out I can't open the shop door and I don't really have any ventilation here. I may take this up into the loft, and I've got an Adam Stack A5 and an enclosure that's vented. I may be using that because I have quite a few more of these to make. So there is option 1 right here, Beginner Project 11 for your laser. A good way to get acquainted with making some things inexpensive using the Dollar Tree wood. Files for this. The library and the Lightburn cut files. There'll be a link in the description or where you can go to our website and downloads. No charge. They're free. We want to get you going with your laser. Again, I'm using the xTool D1. Excellent laser. I use it a lot. I have 2 of them. The other one I have extended, so it's a good product. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. I'm Roger in the shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.